there, welcome to the Obi Thorn Alliance. I'm Luke, and in today's video we're reviewing the recent Marvel movie, The Eternals. Like and subscribe, comment down below if you enjoyed the movie or not. I guess let's give the summary for people who haven't seen it yet because it just recently came out. I guess you want to do that, Luke?
Yeah, we'll split it between us. So the Eternals carries on after what's happened in Endgame and then the few movies that have followed in the Marvel Universe, and it surrounds these new concept of the Eternals. So it's a group of
beings.
Yeah, beings. We don't fully know what they are, but they have all unique powers. They were sent to Earth 8,000 years ago to protect Earth from these creatures called deviants. And they all take different forms. They kind of can look like dragons or look like lions. And they are basically trying to destroy Earth, and they've been sent to protect Earth from the deviants. So we get to see a cool montage of scenes where they throughout unique parts of history, whether it be the Babylonians, the Egyptians, just protecting Earth from the deviants. At some point, there's no deviants left, but their mission is still to stay on Earth and protect it, and then they continue to live for thousands and thousands of years, till eventually they get to modern day, where some are living normal lives, others are hiding, or living a quiet life. I wouldn't say hiding. But the deviants have returned. And through that, they have to reunite to take on these deviants and save Earth once again, which is the main plot of the movie, with a few twists that come from that. We discover why they're actually on Earth, what their mission is, and we discover who their kind of villain is that they've got to defeat, and then it sets it up for future things to carry on. From the time the deviants return, what kind of happens for the Eternals from there? What are the Eternals? What precedes that part of the movie?
They're basically living their lives. We get to see some backstory from the characters, and then basically this deviant turns up, and then we get a nice action scene, and we kind of, they're back now, so we've got to reassemble the group.
We also, in this world, people kind of know who the Eternals are. It's like a myth or a legend that's told throughout history that they were these people, the Eternals. But obviously they don't know exactly what they look like, so they can disguise themselves as normal people. But how do they explain why they don't interfere with human life? Like why they've managed to stay quiet?
Basically, the Eternals are told that they can't interfere in human problems because they are only meant to deal with the deviants, because humans can correct their own problems and solve their own problems, and the deviants are kind of the main things that apparently we can't deal with ourselves. So the deviants are something that we can't deal with ourselves, I guess.
And throughout the movie, once you discover their real mission on Earth, who their actual villain is, and what their role is in preventing the villain, we kind of ultimately watch them prevent the destruction of Earth. Earth is going to implode, and they have to stand in if they want to save this planet that they were told, don't be attached to. Your mission is only short. You're only going to be there to protect them from the deviants. Don't get attached to these people. And they break that one rule, and they become attached, and they decide to save Earth. The reason as to who the villain is and why they have to save Earth is a really cool twist that some would have seen coming. I didn't, but I actually think it was a really cool story. I liked how they did it, and we will talk about it more in the spoilers. Anything else to add to the summary that won't give it away for those that haven't seen?
Powers are quite interesting that the Eternals have. Their personalities, I think the cool thing is that each viewer will see one favorite character from each one, because they're not, one of them isn't stronger than the other one. There's a problem with that, but I assume coming out of the film that we would all have one favorite character, and I think it works for this film.
Yeah, definitely. And it may change throughout who your favorite character is, but I think they are a cool group of superheroes that it adds a cool element to the story. It really expands this idea of there's Earth, and there's Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers, and they're protecting us from Thanos and other beings, but they are only a small part, like from the Loki series, we come to realize that there is thousands of infinite multiverses where things play out differently and things look differently. So we come to realize that there's so much bigger than just Thanos. Like, we thought Thanos was so bad and so evil, but there's more and more that we actually have to deal with, and makes you question, like, why are we so obsessed with Earth when Earth is a small part of this massive universe, which is part of a massive multiverse. But like, it's a cool way to write it in, and I guess some people dislike it because of that, because they think that it's a far-fetched concept, but
yeah,
I think it ties in nicely if you've seen the other shows. Let's jump into a rating. You go first this time.
I'm gonna go a 4. I think it definitely has its problems. I think it's better than what people are saying. I guess I can understand the divide between why people don't like it, is because it feels very much different to the other Marvel movies. But I think the reason why Eternals is good is because it's setting up for other galactic things and things like a good movie to show that there's other things beside Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a 4.5. I think it is a movie I was excited for from the first trailer, and then the next trailer I was less excited for, but then after watching it was better than both of them combined, both the expectations I had from the trailer. I really like the unique concept. I like the twists in it. I like how it builds the universe. I question maybe some of the actors they picked, just because some of them weren't well known to me and they were a bit boring, but their powers and their role and the way the movie played out was really cool. I like seeing the how they were involved in parts of history. I thought that was really, really cool concept. And overall, I just enjoyed the movie. For going in there expecting it to be bad and walking out going, that was good, that's why I'm giving it a high rating, because it blew my mind in terms of what I thought it was going to be. Maybe if I walked in there expecting it to be good, maybe I would have gave it a lower rating, but I expected it to be bad, and actually was good. So for that, I'm going to say a 4.5 for it. Let's move into some spoiler discussion. Starting at, what did you see the ultimate twist coming? Did you think that they were like created AI? Did you see what their mission was going to be?
I guess it kind of makes sense, because it was suspicious from... I didn't see that specific twist, but you were suspicious from the start, because like the scientists... sorry, not the scientist, the one that could go into people's memories was like, why can't we interfere? So you questioned that. So I was questioned going into it, but no, I didn't see that twist, and it was good.
I think it's a cool setup. They're like, don't get involved in human conflict because we need them to
multiply.
Well, they worded it originally like, because we need to let them work things out for themselves. If we get too involved or we advance them too quick, it won't be good for them. But really it was, we need them to multiply, we need them to make mistakes, we need them to give energy so that this celestial being that's been implanted in their planet can grow and get energy and then eventually destroy the planet. I think that's a really cool concept. I like that it ties in, you were telling me off screen about with Ego and what was happening there. I think it ties a lot of cool things together, and it got to open your mind to being like, what are these celestial beings? What can they do? How powerful are they? And is Kang a celestial being? Is the Watcher a celestial? Where does this all... The answers are probably out there, people that read the comic books, but for someone that purely watches the movies, I'm left with all these questions that I'm dying to know the answers to. And I think that was a cool twist. What did you think about the kind of like Superman style character becoming bad? Did you see that coming?
Not in the beginning, but it did make sense in a way that it was suspicious that she was dead at that specific spot, and where was the deviant, and then we see what happens with that. So I was kind of suspicious, but I didn't see what he did with that twist, but I was suspicious how she died.
Are you happy with the ending towards that? Him basically flying himself into the sun?
Thought he could have talked it out, but I guess it's that message that when you go to the sun, you burn yourself.
Yeah. Do you like the premise? You know, the deviants were created to go to planets to kind of become the apex predator and wipe the planets of any predators that could stop life forms from multiplying. But then them themselves became like corrupted, and they basically were starting to kill off life forms. So then he had to recreate a new set of like beings, like these Eternals, to then go kill off the deviants, so then Earth could keep multiplying.
Yeah, it was cool.
I think it's unique. It's a really interesting way of thinking, and maybe that's why people think poorly of this movie, because they don't understand it, or it's too complex for them. But I really like that idea. Did you have a standout Eternal, your favourite one?
Probably the scientist.
Kind of mixed. I found the he's Pakistani in real life, but he's Indian in this movie. I found him hilarious.
I thought his cameraman was hilarious. Those two made a cool combo.
Yeah, that added the usual Marvel comedy to it. Him stepping back towards the end and not helping them was kind of upsetting. But he was funny. He was cool. Do you buy the character that became the leader in the end, that she actually was powerful enough to stop that? Or
no.
Considering she never really understood her powers and she only felt that she could change some things, then suddenly she could turn a celestial being into something else. I don't know. That seems a bit far-fetched, but it was alright.
And it's kind of like, I know how they wrote it with how they said, they forgot their memories with different planets, but I find it interesting how when it's Earth's turn, these people know, and then none of them mention. It's like, we have actually done this to plenty of other planets. Why do we feel so special about this one? It's like when it's Earth's turn. Like, that's what I was thinking. It's like we were told that this actually needs to happen, or if it doesn't, the Earth explodes. But when it's Earth's turn, it's like, no, damn be the tired universe. Earth is more important.
I guess that's the thing, they try and make out that humans are like no other being. Like there might be other aliens or whatnot on the planet, but that they might have certain skills or powers or smarts, but for some reason humans are lovable. And that's what they're trying to make out, that people want to protect humans because people...
Aren't we all special?
Yeah, I guess they're saying that all these beings that come to Earth, they become attached to Earth. And like the same reason that Thor fell in love with a human, because something about humans that they try and make out that gods and other beings become attached. You know, like Ergo fell in love with a human. Like, you know, they just think that humans are somehow unlike other beings, that we have emotions and do things that other beings can't do, and that's why. But does this kind of conflict Ergo and his plan with Earth?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, does that kind of erase his plan with planting celestial beings there compared to what was happening in this movie? Do they cross each other out?
Yeah.
I guess I question that the Eternals did this, and whoever their overarching lord is was kind of like, that's fine. You made your choice, but there will be repercussions. We'll let Earth live. Like, would that happen, or would he just go, no, screw you? I'm going to replant this bean. Like, you can't choose Earth to survive. Like, why are they special?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and that leads on to future movies. Where do you think this is going? Where do you think they are?
I think it's eventually going to combine into Galactus, and eventually, I guess the Eternals will help with defeating Galactus.
Galactus, I'm not familiar with. Is that, I guess, some sort of boss throughout the comic book?
He's an X-Men boss with the Silver Surfer, and he can basically eat planets to get energy.
Okay. So I guess the sky's the limit, and
yeah.
I don't know, do I like this direction Marvel's going? Is it getting on such a big scale that heroes that we love, like Thor and like the Hulk, are they just not important anymore? Are they just like, you guys are puny, we're now dealing with like celestial beings? Like, we talk about Thor being a god, but is he a god like a celestial god? Is he different? Like, I don't know. Like, could he compete at that level? We don't, like, it becomes so mixed. So the movie itself was good, but where it leads, I don't know. Is it too hard for Marvel to undo this now? How do we go back to just watching them fight like everyday villains? Like, could we ever watch a Spider-Man movie where he's just like your local friendly Spider-Man? He's taking on like gangsters and like villains. Like, we go, no, we got to deal with like gods now. That's nothing. Well, don't waste your time, Spidey. Yeah.
Did you like the main, I guess, villain from the Deviants point of view, with him like sucking all the energy from the Eternal team, or did you?
Yeah, it's a cool idea. He doesn't have context, and you don't grow to like him or hate him. He is. I just see them as like a faceless being that has got a mission, and that's how it works.
Do you think the most pointless like casting and characters Angelina Jolie, like her character was kind of, she was having these memories and but she really didn't add anything to the movie?
No, I think she did, because she was meant to be the fierce warrior that they feared, and she was like a great fighter. And I think her memory part of it really ties in the fact that they did have past missions. So I think it was cool. I think it's good enough. So I think no character was unwanted. I just thought it was interesting that they had superstars like Angelina Jolie and then absolutely nobodies in the Eternals. Some of those characters, I was like, not that they have to be famous. I was just like, you're not what I pictured. I pictured a team of just, gorgeous superstars, but you tried to normalize these people, but they're not. They're Eternals. So that's an interesting twist they did on it. But, overall, it was a good movie. People are going to dislike it for whatever reason. You can't make everyone happy.
So why do you think there's such a divert dislike for the movie? Do you think it's warranted, or do you think?
I don't know if it's warranted. I think it comes from confusion. I think it comes from people fear or hate what they don't understand, and I think it was maybe too complex for some. Others will disagree. I hope people leave comments and say why they disliked it or why they did like it. But my initial thought is there's a large number of people that just didn't get it or thought it was so far-fetched, and that's why they don't like it. But then there's going to be people that go, this is crazy, it's making me think so differently now, so it's good. So you can't please everyone.
And I guess we better talk about the two ending cutscenes.
Yeah, quickly. Well, explain the cutscenes.
Basically, we get introduced to Thanos' brother, and
he's casted as Harry Styles, which is confusing because I don't understand why Thanos looks the way he does and Harry Styles looks the way he does. Like, how are they brothers? I guess there's a bit to it.
Well, Thanos is actually half Deviant and half Eternal. He's half.
Yeah, so what, we assume that Harry Styles is an Eternal?
Yeah, full Eternal.
Okay, it's interesting. I guess I'm intrigued to find out more about that.
Mm.
And then the other cutscene with the actor that plays Jon Snow, he is becoming the Dark Knight or something like that, or the...
There's a voice that tells him no, and I think it's either the Watcher from the What If series or Nick Fury.
Yeah, so someone was telling me that they believe that links in with him being some kind of, I don't know, Shining Knight character that's a superhero, and makes sense because he gets that ring and he supposedly has like a long history, like back to medieval times, that ties in. So where that goes, I'm not sure. Looking forward to find out more.
Yeah. Well, thank you for helping, Luke.
No worries.
Like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Let the force be with you. Bye-bye.